Welcome back to Good Better Broker as we bring in Kelly Belcher. She is a mortgage loan officer with Key Mortgage Inc. based here in Metro Detroit. Kelly, great to see you.
Thank you.
We also have to tell our listeners that you are the Michigan Mortgage Mom because that's a big part of your brand. It has been for some time. And funny story, Kelly, you were the first interview that I did when I joined the marketing team at UWM. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. So, came out to my office. It was super fun going around downtown Plymouth locally. So I had a great time.
Yeah,
and I appreciate it too because I've seen it over the years and able to like share it, reminder of, to my friends and family what I do. On Facebook.
Yeah, you've been famous for some time. That was back in 2018, and we talked to you about your social media efforts. And today we're going to talk to you about reviews. But before we get to that, I also want to let our listeners know that in addition to being an OG interviewee of the UWM marketing team, you have been in the business for almost 25 years now. You got into mortgages when you were 16, which kind of makes you like the LeBron James of the mortgage world, straight from high school to the pros. Yeah. But you are so big on branding, and a big part of how you get business is from your online reviews. So as we get started, just give me a sense of what reviews do for your business.
So I don't advertise. I don't like sponsor on Google or anything like that, but just authentically like asking for reviews. I kind of set it up where at the start of the conversation, I'm talking to a client. I said, I'm going to do the best job I can do possibly for anyone. I'm going to treat you as you're my only client. At the end of this process, could you do me a favor? Yeah, sure. What can I do for you? Can you give me a Google review? So that's like kind of how I intro that. And then when I ask for the review at the end, they remember it and they'll send me a review.
So there's that. And then there's also this, because you told me you're getting 1 to 2 calls per week from people who find you on Google.
Correct. And I don't even have a ton of reviews. I have over 50, which I was actually talking to someone today in Success Track, and he said like 50 is like the marker where you need to be, and they have to be authentic. Like you can't really do like the paid for reviews and try to like, amp up that number. But yeah, 50 he said is the number. I'm over 50. But yeah, I get at least, I have one in process that I actually just took today. Called me, or actually she emailed me on Saturday, and her first line was, I think that we need a mortgage mom, LOL. And it turns out that it's a VA purchase. They're purchasing from a family member, and I facilitated them talking to a title company, and there's no real estate agents involved in this one, but I already took the application, and that was from Saturday. So
I think we need a mortgage mom.
Yeah.
So now I need you to tell everybody how you came up with that brand, because it's a great brand, Michigan Mortgage Mom. Check out her logo. It's really cool. It's like a little kid's hand. So tell the story of how you first developed that brand.
So I'm really into marketing, and I do like advertising and stuff like that. I didn't no background in that, but I do think it's a lot of fun. It's like my Pinteresty type like fun part of this business. I just kind of was like, well, I have to come up with something. I'm only licensed in Michigan. I'm a mom. It's kind of like a good play and
alliteration.
Yeah. It kind of flows, and my main thing is the logo is easy to like put on, a embroidery or something like that. So I wanted something more simple so that I can embroider it and it can be small enough and you can still understand what it is and it's not like in your face. So I get sweatshirts made and jackets just on the sleeve. So it's a fun thing for me, and my kids like it. My husband likes it. So yeah, it's fun.
No, that's really cool, and you've done a great job with it, and obviously it's working. Yeah. It's still working. It's still helping you get business. There are several different ways that you go about helping yourself when it comes to reviews. One of them is the Review Me tool that we have. Tell us about that.
Yes. So the Review Me tool is great because it's automated. So I already have it turned on. When it came out, they were advertising that it was coming. So I'm calling Olivia. When is it coming? It keeps saying that it's coming. I just need it, because I was doing my own, just reminder type thing, like, a week after, remind the person again to send it. And I would just send an email or have my team send the email. So now it's automatic. Now they also have the video one. So I'm in Success Track yesterday and today, and they're doing the whole intro on that. So I turned all of that on and excited about that. We were kind of laughing. We're like, well, what are these videos going to come out? I'm like, I think any video is better than no video. So, good press is better than no press. That's how I'm like, I'll post every single one of them, no matter like what they look like. So I'm excited about that. The video review thing, I think it's going to be pretty neat.
Yeah, but no, video is big and it just continues to get bigger. Walk us through the timing of asking for a review, because I know that every mortgage broker is a little bit different when it comes to this. How does it work for you?
So it depends on the client. So I always ask at the beginning, and then at the end I try to ask before we go to the closing table, because once they get to the closing table, everyone's just like rush, need to move, families and moving from one house to another. So I try to do that. I also will send instructions if they don't have a Gmail, because people are like, oh, I don't have a Google. I don't have Gmail to get in there. You can easily do it. So I send those instructions as well. Like, try to make it as easy as possible. If they're texters, I'll send the link through a text message. Anyone can do it. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory and easy to do.
Asking for a review at the beginning, to me, that would seem a little bit weird, because you're asking somebody to give you a favorable review when you really haven't done anything for them yet. So why is that something that in your mind is okay to do?
So at the beginning, when I'm asking them, I'm also spending a ton of time educating them. So I don't 100% know that they're going with me. They might be in the middle of shopping with 5 different lenders, and they might choose a different lender because, they might, be shopping with an online lender, and they might end up going with them, and they might not use me, or they get swayed another way because of a family member or the real estate agent. So that happens, but my end goal is to make sure that when I get off the phone with them in that introduction, call, which could be 30, 60 minutes, that they have enough value add at the end of that conversation that even if I, educated them enough in that hour, that they could review me just on that. So my goal is to make sure that they know what they're, getting into as far as like the home buying process and all the different steps beyond the transaction in the closing.
Your conversations with first-time home buyers are obviously, very time consuming. Mm-hmm. But you were telling me that those are some of the most valuable reviews you can get. Mm-hmm. Why is that the case?
So I was just like, I was kind of going through notes and stuff this morning, and I was laughing because I had this review one time, and it was like a year after I talked to this person, and I reread it this morning because I looked at the name on it, and I said, I'm not even sure who that is. I didn't close the loan for this person. And I reread the review, and it said, it was a year later, and it said, I didn't actually go with Kelly for the closing, but I felt the need to give this 5-star review because she helped me understand the process. And at the end of the day, I wish I would have gone through. And he, paragraphed it out with a 5-star review. But just in that, initial conversation and kind of like educating him on things and really like being his, consultant type thing, like looking through other lenders, disclosures for him, I was able to educate him enough that he felt the need to do that.
Super cool story.
Yeah, it felt good to, know that like I didn't close his loan, but he could be a potential future client on a refinance. So it was good for me.
Well, and it also speaks to that value, like you said, that you provide in that initial consultation. Right. You utilize a QR code as part of your process for asking for reviews. How does that work?
So 2 things. I have it in my signature line, just a link. And then I also added it to the back of my cards as a QR code. So I put my cards in my, closing gifts, and I, put it in like the card. I'll send like a card later on. I always have it in there. So I kind of just did it as like, don't forget, like if you didn't, like, subtle, not like in your face, but it's definitely on the back of the card. So, or if they want to get my card to look at the other reviews, because that's what people do. They look at Google to, get their answers.
When it comes to reviews, you can either say, I want a lot of them, or I want some of them that are really good, quantity versus quality. You're definitely in the quality camp because, mm-hmm. like you said, you've got just over 50, but in your mind, there's also a benefit to this in the sense that it shows these are real, mm-hmm. that's not bots at work. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I ask every single person. So I mean, someone might, if they don't have like the perfect experience, and it could be because of their situation or whatever it is, I want their honest feedback. And, I knock on wood, I have all 5-star reviews right now. It wouldn't be the end of the world if I didn't, but I ask everyone for reviews and their honest feedback. And I do, like, throughout the process, ask, like, do you, is there something that we can change in the process? Is there something that works better for you? I do a lot of that in the intro, in the intake. What's best communication? Is it through text, email, phone call? What's best for you? What hours are best? So we go through a lot of like what their needs are. Also telling them we are going to update you every Friday, no matter what. So, and that's like part of our process. So basically it helps me because if we're updating them on Friday, I'm not going to get a million calls Saturday and Sunday. And that Saturday and Sunday, I can work on new business. So when I'm getting the calls for, people coming in, going to open house, needing numbers, needing to put an offer in. So that's like, that's my weekend work. I don't want to be asking when an appraisal's due back or something.
So that's one of your strategies that you use to get those good reviews, because obviously you can't just get one. You need to earn that quality review. So tell us about your approach when it comes to educating your clients.
So I first go through that intake. What is their scenario? What are they looking for? What are your goals? We do also, I do go through taxes. Taxes are a huge thing right now, especially during, the heightened part of COVID when the rates were, 2.5% and the sales prices were sky high. I lost sleep over knowing that other people were going with mortgage companies that were not educating them on future property taxes. Now we're seeing that. Like the education not there with people that some mortgage people didn't even understand that and were closing loans. Real estate agents were closing loans, not understanding property taxes and, taxable values doubling, tripling, and taxes skyrocketing. Clients getting their updated mortgage statement with huge thousands of dollars in, an escrow shortage and not understanding what that meant.
Can I just interrupt you? Because that was me. I got when we got our first notice, I was floored, and I reached out to my mortgage person, and they kind of didn't own it.
Right.
My real estate agent did, though, and I actually went back in my email history and saw he mentioned this in one of his communications with me to be aware of that. So it's interesting you bring that up, and I think it's so smart because that can be a huge deal if you do get one of those statements saying, by the way, you owe a lot of money because of this escrow shortage.
I mean, could you imagine a year later and then getting a review with 0 stars because
not great.
No one told me that my taxes were going to double? And then I was going to have that shortage payment as well. So, I mean, if you're a couple and you've got a young family and you're buying your first house, you don't know that your taxes are going to probably go up if, someone's been in the house for a million years. So that's one of my main things. I did a screen share video to go over. In Michigan, we have a tax, calculator. So how to utilize the calculator. I went through like step by step on how to do that. And send it out with the link and the YouTube video. They're aware of it. I have documentation that I sent it to them. I also talked to them. I'll help them go through the first one. But if they're looking at multiple homes, and obviously in this market, you're kind of looking at a lot of homes before you're getting something accepted. And I don't want to do it on every single one for them. But if I educate them on how to do it, I educate them on when that tax assessment comes through, what you can do with that. There's a very small print that says that you can go to the assessor's office and fight that taxable value within a certain amount of time. If you believe that it's too high, that's the time when you want to do it, that first tax assessment. So going through all of that, then my clients come to me for everything. So if they get something in the mail, they're not sure what it is, I'm getting a screenshot and a text message at 10 o'clock at night. So, and that's fine because I want to be the resource for everything, mortgage related. So that's a lot of, the background as far as the education is concerned.
I'm not sure if you can see the wheel spinning in my head, but I'm saying to myself, why did I not use Kelly when I got my mortgage? When you're telling me about, I know, whatever. Hindsight's 2020. Maybe on the next one, you never know.
Right.
So you went over the tax part. You went over the Friday reach out, which I think is great, that update before the weekend so everyone knows what's going on. It gives you some peace of mind so you can have some free time with your family on the
Right.
weekend. What else about your process stands out that helps set you up for good reviews?
So not just for good reviews, but also like I utilize HomeBot. So HomeBot is like a very good tool for myself, my clients, my real estate agents. I didn't have a CRM during COVID. When my refi business came in, it came all in through HomeBot. So all of the alerts that were going out to clients, they were coming through HomeBot. Now they've utilized a system where now you have agent partners. They can be under my HomeBot. They join it. It's great. They send out like a monthly newsletter on like what's going on in the market. All their mortgage information's in there. So if I don't win that offer, which I try to win every single one, if I don't win the mortgage, I still put them in my HomeBot because they will eventually be a client of mine, because my HomeBot's going to alert them every month. You're going to forget who your mortgage person was if they're not in front of you, as long as, again, with your real estate agent as well. But if the real estate agent and the mortgage person are in front of them every single month, they're going to contact whoever they're getting information from.
I'm glad you brought up the real estate agents because, earlier you were talking about how you spend some time with each client at the beginning to really give them that assessment, even if they don't go with you.
Mm-hmm.
But you really do, Kelly, consider yourself a go-to resource for your real estate agents and for clients. Tell us, about that approach and how it pays off for you.
So I really like to see my agents win, no matter if it's using me or, if they're on the list side. I try to help them if they're not finding comparable sales. Like I use House Canary and in a UWM system for everything. I pull it on every single house. It's such a great tool. We were doing it in Success Track this morning, and I now learned, Julian, it was our trainer, he was like showing us all these different interactive reports, and I'm like, this is wild. So I'm learning something like every day. And this Success Track was like the 101 of the technology, because you have to take that one to take the next one. I'm like, I don't know if I'm I set up my Facebook or something, but I learned so much. And just utilizing that House Canary, that report is so great, and it's such a great tool for my agents too. I have agents texting me like, hey, can you look up this address to see like what you're seeing, and as far as value is concerned, I can share it to them. It's not branded to anyone. If they want to share it to their client, you can change the number of bathrooms and bedrooms and upgrades and whatnot. So I utilize that a ton for my agents. Different programs that come out. There's so many, we don't have Mishta because we're a broker. There's so many down payment assistance programs that are out there that are so much better than Mishta in Michigan. So researching that, getting the information to agents that I know their clients could utilize it, getting them those tools and telling them about different programs that they can reach out to these type of clients or clients in this area with different programs is where I try to help my agents the most.
Just listening to you talk about all of this, it makes me think that the real value you're providing is value. Mm-hmm. I mean, a mortgage is a commodity, right?
Right.
You can go to anybody and get your mortgage financing or financing for your home, but you're just providing them value beyond what they would expect. When you think about that, and maybe somebody else who's listening to this who's trying to get, more reviews or better reviews, what is your take on that? Just on the importance of providing real value, even if there's nothing guaranteed in return.
I think it's just like being yourself. Like we were talking about it again today, and some people they try to put on this act of okay, I'm going to be the salesperson, and it's just be you. So it's funny because there's a be you here everywhere, and I'm like, it is so true though. Just be yourself. You're going to attract the people that you want to work with, and that's what it is. All of the agents that send me business that I work with, they're my friends. So they become friends, which is and then I value their business and their, their income and their families and how I can help them provide for their families. So it's so much more for me and so much more rewarding seeing people succeed, and do good things for other people too. So.
And you can't be afraid, right?
No.
Like your friends, you can't ask them to help you move because nobody wants to help somebody move, but you can definitely ask them for a review, right? But no, in all seriousness, you can't be afraid to ask for it, because if you don't ask, you're not going to get it.
No, if you don't ask, if you don't share what you do, like how many of your friends and family members and relatives and know what you do? Like, unless you're telling them what you do, I work for a mortgage company. Well, like, okay, great. Well, how can they help you? So asking and telling and sharing that information is so huge. People want to support you. So that's how I feel. Like, they want to support you and your business and your family. And, if they can, they'll share it. And if they don't, then it's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
It's whatever.
The other thing I didn't ask you about is the open houses, because that, you were talking about how you support your realtors and you love to see them win. Tell us about your approach with the open houses.
So there's tons of marketing like that I can use on UWM site, because I can just you can plug in a specific house. So also I've seen like the last few open houses, Thursday afternoons, I've seen like non-Saturday, Sunday open houses, which to me, it's genius. Like, think about how many sporting events that your kids have on Saturdays and Sundays. Like, who has time to stop in an open house? Thursday, when you're driving home from work, okay, just stop in an open house. It's not, not too much out of the way. We had an agent that I work with a lot. We hosted an open house on a Thursday afternoon, just traffic the whole entire time.
Really?
So yeah, and I'm running into other agents that I work with too, coming with their buyers, and it was just like, even if no one shows up, you have that one-on-one time with that agent that you're sitting with. I mean, build that relationship, go to your open house. I made these open house boxes that had the booties in it and waters and the sign-in sheet. Help a new agent, talk to a new agent, brand new agent. They don't have any business. How can you help support their business? Go to and do an open house with them, talk to them, guide them. So you can support brand new people in an open house. They can get their leads that way. They can get the confidence that they need. Open houses are great, especially right now.
Well, like you said, weekends people are busy. If you, as a buyer, if you go to an open house on a Thursday afternoon, you don't have to bring your kids with you.
Right.
You don't have to worry about them running around, sticking their head in the toilet, doing whatever else while you're trying to figure out if you
going through the jewelry box.
All that, you you are the Michigan Mortgage Mom.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of your brand, and it's a big part of who you are. And it's a big reason why you're doing so great. As you approach, like we said, 25 years in this business. You're just getting going. Kelly Belcher, the Michigan Mortgage Mom with Key Mortgage Inc. Great stuff. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Good Better Broker and helping us support independent mortgage brokers everywhere. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified about new videos, as well as your preferred podcast platform for a new episode every other Tuesday.